Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Throughout American history, the vice presidency has often been a stepping stone to the highest office in the land. Some vice presidents successfully ascended to the presidency, either through election or succession after a president's death. However, many served in the nation's second highest office without ever reaching the pinnacle of power. In this series, we will explore the lives of these vice presidents, their ancestry, careers, political influence, and the reasons why they never became president. Some were ambitious and fell from grace, while others remained loyal servants of their administrations without seeking the top job. Each has a unique story that shaped American history. We begin with one of the most infamous figures to ever hold the office, Aaron Burr. His political career was filled with intrigue, controversy, and scandal, culminating in a deadly duel that changed the course of his life. His ambition once put him on the path to the presidency, but his actions ultimately led him down a very different road. Aaron Burr is one of the most infamous figures in American history, known not only for his tenure as vice president under Thomas Jefferson, but also for his controversial political career and his deadly duel with Alexander Hamilton. While his ambition once put him on the path to the presidency, his legacy was ultimately shaped by scandal and intrigue. Aaron Burr Jr. was born on February 6, 1756, in Newark, New Jersey. His family lineage was deeply rooted in early colonial America. His father, Aaron Burr Sr., was a Presbyterian minister and the second president of what would become Princeton University, then called the College of New Jersey. His mother, Esther Edwards Burr, was the daughter of the famous theologian Jonathan Edwards, a leading figure in the First Great Awakening. Burr's paternal grandfather, Daniel Burr, came from a family that settled in Connecticut in the 1600s. The Burrs were well established in colonial society and were involved in religious and educational institutions. On his maternal side, Burr's grandfather, Jonathan Edwards, was one of the most influential ministers in early American history, known for his fiery sermons and theological writings. His great-grandfather, Timothy Edwards, was also a minister, making Burr the descendant of generations of religious leaders. Despite this strong religious heritage, Burr was not particularly devout. Instead, he pursued law and politics, setting himself apart from his ancestors. Burr's childhood was marked by tragedy. His father died of illness in 1757 when Burr was just a year old. His mother, Esther, followed soon after in 1758, leaving Aaron and his sister, Sally, orphans before he was 3 years old. The Burr children were taken in by their maternal uncle, Timothy Edwards, who raised them in a strict but privileged household in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. Despite these hardships, Burr displayed an extraordinary intellect from an early age. At just 11 years old, he enrolled at the College of New Jersey, following in his father's footsteps. He graduated at 16, excelling in classical studies and rhetoric. After briefly considering entering the ministry, he ultimately decided to pursue law. However, before he could begin his legal career, the outbreak of the American Revolution changed his course. When the Revolutionary War began in 1775, Burr enlisted in the Continental Army and quickly earned a reputation for bravery and intelligence. He served under Benedict Arnold during the ill-fated expedition to capture Quebec, enduring harsh winter conditions and near starvation. Later, Burr joined George Washington's staff but did not get along with the commander-in-chief and requested a transfer. He went on to serve with distinction in several battles, including the Battle of Monmouth in 1778. His military career, however, was cut short in 1779 due to health issues. After leaving the Army, Burr studied law and was admitted to the New York State Bar in 1782. He quickly became one of the most successful attorneys in the state. Burr's political career took a fatal blow in 1804. After losing influence within Jefferson's administration and failing to secure the governorship of New York, Burr blamed Alexander Hamilton for ruining his chances. Their rivalry culminated in the infamous duel on July 11, 1804, in Weehawken, New Jersey. Hamilton fired first, allegedly missing on purpose. Burr, however, shot Hamilton in the abdomen, and he died the next day. The duel made Burr a political pariah. He was charged with murder in New York and New Jersey, though neither case went to trial. With his political career in ruins, Burr turned to desperate measures. In 1805, he traveled west and became involved in a mysterious scheme to establish a new independent nation in the American Southwest. The details of Burr's plans remain debated, but President Jefferson accused him of treason. Burr was arrested in 1807 and tried in a highly publicized case. Chief Justice John Marshall presided over the trial, and Burr was ultimately acquitted due to lack of concrete evidence. However, his reputation never recovered. After the trial, Burr went into self-imposed exile in Europe for several years before returning to New York in 1812. He resumed practicing law, but never regained political influence. In his later years, Burr lived in obscurity. He suffered a stroke in 1834 that left him partially paralyzed. He spent his final years in a boarding house in Staten Island, where he died on September 14, 1836, at the age of 80. One of the more unusual aspects of Burr's personal life was his second marriage in 1833 to Eliza Jumel, a wealthy widow. She soon realized Burr was rapidly spending her fortune and filed for divorce. Ironically, the attorney handling her divorce case was Alexander Hamilton, Jr., the son of the man Burr had killed in the duel decades earlier. The divorce was finalized on the day of Burr's death. Aaron Burr's legacy is complex. He is best remembered for his rivalry with Alexander Hamilton, culminating in the famous duel, his role in the 1800 election, which led to a constitutional change in the Electoral College system through the 12th Amendment, his treason trial, one of the first major constitutional challenges to executive power, his contributions to New York politics, particularly in expanding voting rights. Burr's life was one of high ambition and deep tragedy, a man who had the potential to be president but was undone by his own actions. As we continue this series, we will explore more vice presidents who never made it to the presidency, each with their own fascinating story. Thank you for tuning into the Ancestral Findings podcast. Be sure to visit ancestralfindings.com to grab your free genealogy ebook. Ask for a complimentary genealogy lookup, and sign up for our weekly historical postcard giveaway. A special thanks to our Patreon supporters. Your contributions help to anchor our family tree firmly in the ground, allow our lineage to fly high, and keep our journey through history on the right path. Wishing you a fantastic day and happy searching.